Caribbean Connect is an online e-commerce platform where we promote training and development in many different areas, from leadership, strategic planning, hydroponics, food, fashion, upcycling, and of course, music. I'm Shivani Sinorai, your moderator here for this afternoon. And joining me is Kiran Brijlal in a very interesting conversation involving music, but more specifically on the business of music, the business of Tassa. So thank you, Kiran, for joining us here this afternoon, where we will have a very, I should say, entertaining, interesting, and persons might be expecting to hear some music in the background as well too. So welcome, Kiran. I'm here to, let me introduce who Kiran is. So thanks for everyone also on the call who's joining us. I'm seeing some persons from Suriname. So thanks for joining us. I know we have another person coming in from Miami. We have persons in Trinidad. So very happy to have all of you all joining us as we listen to a conversation about Tassa with Kiran. So who is Kiran Brijlal? Kiran is the leader, founder of the South Trini Boys, Tassa Group, since 2008, which has been in existence for almost 15 years. He has 18 years of experience in Tassa drumming. Kiran would say he got a passion for drumming, music, art, and culture. But you know, when I met Kiran, I realized that it's not only Tassa that he's about. Kiran is also a generalizing specialist, I will call him. He knows many different areas. He may be a subject matter expert in Tassa, but he's also subject matter in other areas too. Kiran is a logistics claims coordinator at a shipping company in Trinidad and Tobago. So Kiran is not only into music and culture, he's into management, he's also into leadership, because definitely got to be in leadership if he is in charge of a band, you know. And from just being in leadership, Kiran will understand about managing projects, because I would look at Tassa as being a project initially, the setup of it, planning it, knowing who you're going to integrate as part of the team, because it's a team approach in order to get the job done. But of course, Kiran's going to tell us all about his band and what they have done, etc. so far. And we look forward to hearing this. So welcome, Kiran. So, you know, I want to start the conversation with you. Thanks, Kiran. So, Kiran, let's get right into it.
Hi, good night, and welcome, everyone.
Great. So, Kiran, tell us a little bit about the history, because persons who are joining us and persons who will be seeing this at many different points, you know, they heard the word Tassa. I think it's very popular. Everybody knows the term Tassa. But what is the history? You know, tell us a little brief history of Tassa.
Right. Tassa was originated from India and was brought into the Caribbean by the Indian third laborers in the year 1830s at the time of slavery. In these times, our ancestors would have played Tassa for various rituals and activities in keeping with their culture and tradition. Tassa drumming is played as a signal of victory or celebration and was passed on from generation to generation. It has evolved over the years and has become known today to be one of the sweetest music in the Caribbean. Tassa ensembles of 4 instruments: 2 tassa, a bass drum, and a jal. Traditionally, tassa is a bowl or cone-shaped type of drum which is covered with a goat skin and hung from the neck. It is played using a pair of flexible sticks called a chope or chobe, made from cane. It is accompanied by the dole, or what we refer to as the bass drum, which is a double-sided drum that is played with a stick on one side, known as the boom side, and the hand side, which is the other side, known as a tal side. It is also accompanied with a pair of brass cymbals, or what we refer to as jal or janj, which is designed to give a shaking, grinding, or vibrating sound effect when played. We will talk more about how each instrument contributes to the sound as we go along.
Right,
Back to you, Shiv.
Kiran. I am making notes as you're talking, I'm learning a lot. So thanks. But after this history, and yes, you said it started in India, from India, and it came into Trinidad, and this is where you got very heavily involved in the playing of the different instruments and setting up really a band. But what prompted you? So let's hear your story a little bit, because everybody got a story. So what is your story? What prompted you really to start Tassa?
Right. Growing up as a child, I always liked Tassa drumming. I always liked the sound of Tassa. From the time I hear Tassa, I have a weakness for it. So the sound and the vibration of the Tassa always seemed to raise my paws and my hands when I heard it from a distance. So I was always amazed by when I hear these songs, when I see Tassa drumming playing, I'm always there in front to look at it and see, and I always try to get into it. I said, I want to learn this. I want to be like these guys playing these drums. So I was always amazed by the bass drum, and by the way it was playing, it used to always catch my attention. And growing up as a child, looking at Tassa drum, it made me feel like I had to be in it. It inspired me to become a drummer, and here I am today. Growing up, me and my brothers, while growing up, we would enjoy taking old clay dias and balloons, and we would construct mini Tassa drums and put it in with Tassa drums and having a lot of fun. And this is how it all started off with us. Then one day, our opportunity came where it is me and my brothers were invited to become a part of a Tassa class in our community. And this was like a blessing in disguise to us, where we got our first hand experience in Tassa drumming and the real play of the instruments. From that point, here we are 18 years later, being a professional Tassa drummer. And that is how I got into it, and this is where I am further in Tassa drumming today.
So you would say, Kiran, it started as with a love for it, right?
Yes.
A love for Tassa, a passion, I like to say persons get involved in things because they have a passion for it, a passion for something, and you just evolve into Tassa playing. No, it started with a passion, looking at your family. I love what you said in terms of is a community. So definitely you would say that Tassa came out in many different communities too, because it is seen, as you mentioned, with the history, is about victory and happiness, and fun times. Because when people think about Tassa, they think about happy times. I think about it as a happy time always. If I hear the music, I think it's happiness. And especially now, people got to get more into happiness, and whatever we could bring forward to make persons happy, by all means, we say great. And I know you would agree with that, bringing happiness.
Yes.
So Tassa definitely brought you happiness. So I would also like to say, I consider you, as you're talking a little bit here, like an entrepreneur, because you started to play Tassa, and of course you're going to different events. So that's an entrepreneurial ability, because not everyone, you have to have certain traits, and you have to develop the traits in order to become into this entrepreneurial business, because it is a business, as we are saying, the business of Tassa. So Thank you, Kiran, for that. What is the process then for making Tassa? Because I know there's a story behind it, and definitely, you're into the business of it, you're making it, persons may want to purchase it from you. So what is the process for making the Tassa?
Right. Traditionally, to make a Tassa, you would have to get a clay drum from a pottery shop. Right, this is the structure of the Tassa drum. Then a goat skin is used. It is stretched on a wooden sheet, and it is set to dry in the sun for approximately 3 days. Right, and then after it is dry, the hair is then shaven off from the goat skin using dried sand and an empty spray can, or rubbing it together to create a friction. So this separates the hair from the skin. So you want to get like a clean, smooth skin in the texture of like a paper. Right, and then you place the skin in water and it's soaking for approximately 1 hour. So this is where you're now prepping the skin to set it onto the drum, onto the clay shell. So after it is soaking, the softened skin, it is then placed on top of the clay shell, and it is sewn onto the shell using a thin cord or a rope. Once the skin is completely sewn onto the drum, so we now create the image of a drum there. The Tassa drum takes its shape and it is set out to dry for another day or two, and then the cord is plait. You plait the cord and you make the skin tighter after it is dried. When the Tassa drum is completed, it is then ready to tune and to become sound tested. How we do this is basically you apply heat into for the goat skin to become tightened. So the drum is placed next to fire and it is heated, which is allow the skin to expand and become much tighter and tighter. And as the heat becomes more and more absorbed inside the clay shell, giving the drum a tone. So the more heated the drum gets, is the more louder the tone will go up, right? And that's basically the complete process of making a traditional tassa. And when it is heated, we also insert like a small hole at the bottom of the drum. This will allow for the air to pass out to limit the amount of heat that is trapped inside the clay shell, so it will prevent the skin from swelling out. So we now have a complete drum where it is we cover the skin, we have ropes that is tightened, we are heating the drum, and it is allowing air to heat the drum and pass out on the other end, leaving what is called a tone.
Okay.
And when it is heated, the goat skin drums, Tassa drums, are usually it usually uphold its heat for about 20 minutes. So you can be able to execute a performance in about 20 minutes time before the drum goes back down to its original cold form. So
So
that's
20
basically
minutes to make a drum? 20 minutes? 20 minutes?
no, it's 20 minutes. The heat, it can hold the heat for 20 minutes, but the process is a different process, which take a couple days.
Okay. So depending on the process, the length of time, Great.
Back in the days, these processes were used because this is what our ancestors or our past generations, this is what they had available to them. So they had things like they didn't have like pots or anything, so they had to use like clay shell. They had to use goat skin because they didn't have any other material to use to cover the drum. And whatever rope, if they didn't have a rope, they had to use like the skin and strip it to tie the drum, to tie the skin onto the shell. So everything was basically what was available to them, and this is this is the process they use to make the drums.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And
Very
that is
interesting.
only the Tassa. That is only the Tassa drum alone. Not we didn't reach to talk about the bass drum or the jalas yet.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that there are any deviations from this age-old Tassa? This is, a number of years, right?
Yes, there are deviations. I mean, over the years, through modernization and technology, as I just said, back in those days, the older folks, they were only limited to a certain amount of resources. Now that because of modernization and invention, we now have technology. These things help the process of making Tassa drums evolve and make it easier, moving away from the traditional goatskin Tassa to the synthetic Tassa. Synthetic Tassa this is what we call the plastic version of Tassa. This type of Tassa is made from an empty propane tank or a pressure tank, which is cut into a half-size bowl shape representing the clay shell. So we moved away from the traditional clay shell to now the metal shell, which is now available to us in the modern world, right? Moving away from that, the metal shell, we weld a ring at the top of the shell because when you cut the shell, it is usually sharp at the edge. So we have to weld a ring at the top. This is where the skin, the plastic synthetic skin, will be resting on. And we we weld on brackets and we drill holes around the drum where we will use to place nut and bolts for tuning of the skin. So this design and type of Tassa is similar to a snare drum. If you're aware of how the trap set does be the snare drums, where no heat is required, you can just mount it and it play, and you can go anywhere. You don't need to light fire. You don't need
Yeah.
to any condition, hot, cold, anywhere. You can take that Tassa drum and you could play it anywhere without having to heat or worry about the goat skin bursting or having to cure the skin or anything to that extent. So it is an evolution. It has evolved. It has made the process easier, but there's still nothing compared to the original sound of a traditional Tassa drum, which is made from goat skin. But because of technology and advancement, we have to use what is available to us and to make the work easier. So that is how it has differentiated from the traditional process to modern world.
You know, I was going to ask you that. Would you say that the sounds are different? The sounds are different, and you
Yes.
just answered it. You said it's yes, right?
Yes, definitely. Nothing. I always say, based on my experience, nothing could beat back the sound of an original goat skin Tassa drum, because that is what we know Tassa to be.
Mhm.
But now there are instruments and there are ways we can adjust and tune to get the modernized drums to sound as similar or as close as possible.
We're talking a little
But
bit
it
about
takes
engineering there too. You know.
Yes, it takes skills.
Mhm.
So you have to have experience and you have to be doing this often for it to come in. It wouldn't just happen overnight.
Mhm. Well, I like to say, you learn by doing. You learn by doing, and of course, you learn by doing over the years, so you can show about improvements and
Correct.
definitely that's innovation, Kiran. A lot of times people may be doing things the same way, and they expect different results. People do the same thing over and over, and you expect different results. But technology is there, and you're looking at innovation. You're looking at new ways, probably how you could improve something. So it's
Hmm.
a thought process, thinking, make me think quite a lot, really.
Yeah.
So how are bass drums? You're talking about the bass drums. How are they constructed? What's the significance of it in this whole
Right.
process?
So the bass drum, or what we refer to as the bass drum, this is one of the four instruments that complete Tassa, right? So bass drums are constructed from mango trees or cedar trees, and what you do with the mango or cedar tree is cut down, and it is cut down into a log, right? Then the log is then cut into like a preferred length of the base that you would need, and you remove the bark, and the log, you then dry the log, and the inner part of the log is chiseled out or dug out to create a cylinder shape. And once that cylinder shape is created, um, you set it out to dry for some time to remove some of the weight, and then you have to get the shell, the mango cedar shell, to cure before you can work on covering it to make the shape of a bass drum. So once it is once it is completed drying process and curing and stuff, you then paint it, or if you want to apply varnish to give it to add beauty to it. And then the base drum, well, you go on to the covering process with using either goat skin or deer skin. Goat skin is the same process that how we do the tassa. Is the same process. We prepare the goat skin or deer skin to cover the base drum. Um, One side of the bass drum we refer to as the stick side or the boom side, and this usually gives a low medium vibrating effect, and the other side is known as the hand side or the tal side. This gives a medium to high pitch sound, and when we play both sides together, it combines to create a bassline effect to accompany the rhythm of the tassa, similar to that of a trap set. So when you're playing a trap set, you have the bass accompanying the snare, and this is everything combined to one give you the effect. So this is the importance of a bass drum and how it is constructed. It will give the sound to accompany the tassa. The process of preparing the goat skin is quite similar to the tassa, as I just mentioned, where the hair is removed and stuff. And before the skin is mounted onto the drum, we have to apply something called a masala. A masala is applied to the middle of the drum on both sides, right? On the stick side and on the hand side, you apply the masala differently to set. This is basically to set the tone of the bass. So if you want a high pitch bass or you want a low pitch bass or you want a medium bass, basically you have to adjust the muscle. And this again comes by skill and by doing it on a time upon time basis. So every time you work on a bass drum, you get more and more familiarized with setting the masala and setting the tone. And and this is how the bass drum is constructed. Once the skins are masala, it is cooked. The both sides are placed together into the shell, and it is sewn with ropes around, and rings are inserted. So when you tighten the drum, you can use the rings to pull down, and this will create a tighten effect to give the drum a louder sound.
I saw David
So
ask a question. on the chat. How is the oil produced from mango skin?
From mango skin.
Mhm. Okay, we come back. Probably David needs to retype the question there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. In continuing, so thanks, Kiran.
Mhm.
Who comprises this Tassa ensemble, the different, entire group? Who comprises of it?
Right. So the Tassa group comprises of well, it is usually four instruments, but depending on the event or the occasion, if it's like a big parade or a big march or something, we can add on more drummers to the performance. But it is usually comprised of two Tassa, which is one of the Tassa is the main Tassa, which is known as the cutter, and the second one is the fule. And then to combine that, we have the bass drum and then we have the jazz. So these four instruments comprise the Tassa ensemble to make one sound. So it takes four instruments to come together to produce one rhythm or one tone or one track or one hand, as we call it.
What are the roles of the various drummers in this group?
Right. So the roles of the various drummers. So as I mentioned just now, the main Tassa player is the cutter. This person is the main player in charge, and he creates the rhythm or the hand, allowing other drummers to follow along. And his role basically is to coordinate and execute the entire performance. And he is able to call faster or slower rhythms. He is able to execute the taals or break in the hand and given signals along when it is time to interchange. As we talk about tiles and hand, this is a hand is what this is basically what we call the track that we are going to play, the type of rhythm that we are playing, we call it a hand. So later on I will explain to you what are the different type of hands we play, and and how we go about executing different styles, right? And each hand consists of a tal. A tal is a break. So for example, if you are playing a music track, at some point in that track, there might be a break in the song. It's a similar process to Tassa, where it is we will start off a rhythm, and at some point we will have a break into that constant playing to add some sort of addition to the hand, to enhance the hand or make it sound better, and we come back again to it. So that is called the breaking of a tal. So you want to execute the hand. You don't want to be playing something constant and you have the audience just listening, but you want to enhance that hand to make it more appealing to the person who is listening. Um, After the cutter man, the second Tassa drummer is known as a fule man. This guy, his role is to follow along with what the main cutter is playing, and his role is to keep a steady and constant rhythm of the main hand that is being played and to fill in the sound and give a complete tone of the tassa. So he has an important role which will help the main cutter. So as I said before, the tassa ensemble comprise of four instruments, and we already spoke about two, the cutter and the fule. And you can see the importance of the cutter and the fule, as they need to work hand in hand in order for they to create that rhythm on the tassa drum itself. Moving on to the third instrument is the bass drum. The bass drum, the bass man, his role is to add power and depth to that rhythm being played by the tassa. And when he executes that rhythm with power and energy, it releases a vibrant and energetic performance, giving out a medium to high bass line to the tone of the tassa. So when the bass man is playing and he brings out that energy, you can actually feel it. So if we are playing Tassa, you can actually once the bass is playing, you can actually feel that energy and that vibration from the drums. Without the bass drum, you cannot feel that. So this is the importance of the third instrument. And the fourth instrument, which is the jalman, his role is basically to follow along with the rhythm of the bass drum accompanied by the tassa, right? To create, so he basically creates a metallic and vibrating sound effect when both cymbals are combined together. So the jal is basically a metal cymbal which is combined together. It is similar to the sound of rubbing two metal pieces together, creating a grinding effect. So that sound is produced on the brass itself, and it is based on the skill level, it brings out a sweet tone, and it heightens the tone as you play louder and louder and louder. And this can be heard from a very far distance. So from the time, for example, let's say you are on the street walking and there's a wedding, couple houses away, couple streets away. And if there's Tassa playing, the first thing you are going to notice is the jal, because this is the highest instrument, the highest tone of the instrument that is playing. So this is going to give you the idea that yes, somebody is playing Tassa somewhere close by, and you can hear the jal. And once everything is in coordination, it brings together the full rhythm of a Tassa.
You know, as you're speaking, Kiran, persons who don't know about Tassa, look at how much things you could learn from Tassa or learn in order to play Tassa. Persons might have just thought that you could just, you know, just start a drum just like that. But it's an entire skill to learn, yeah? It's an entire skill.
Yeah.
And also the making of the Tassa, to me, it's a very important aspect in how...
Yeah. Everything is a process.
It's a process, yeah. So, you know, persons mustn't just, you know, just look at it and think it just come up like this. It's a whole process, as you said. It's a whole process.
A lot is happening behind the scenes. A lot is happening to get these drums ready for performance, and it is also costly, and it also takes time to maintain. So these drums and it takes a lot out from the drummers to have these drums ready to perform.
So you discuss really the composition, you know. I got a question on the chat here. What about the composition? The composition of your group. What is the composition of your group? I think we went through that already.
Right. So the composition of the group, basically to execute our performance, my group, what we do, I mean, you have to bring all instruments together in order to bring out that performance, to be vibrant and energetic. So in my group, what we comprise, we usually have like 2 to 3 bassmen, bass players playing together. Mostly 2 is okay, and we add on additional Tassa drummers. So we will have, sometimes we have like 3, sometimes we have like 4, and in that we interchange the cutting. So where we would have a main cutter player, we in my band we have 2 to 3 cutter at the same time, where we interchange the cutting. So this helps us to create our composition, and it helps us to make our more energetic, more vibrant, and it helps us to bring out a bigger performance. So in that way, the attention is not just only on one cutter man, but the attention is also spread to the rest of the players as well.
So Kiran, so then depending on the group, right? Depending on the group, you may not have that composition. Each group may be different.
Yeah. Some groups may have more players. Some group may have only 4 players. Some group may have 5, 6, 7. My group, we currently have 8 players.
So what you're really talking there is about tacit knowledge, you know, where is experience, and you know, over a period of years, you are determining what may be the best composition in order to get the best sound, correct?
Over the years, by playing Tassa drumming, you realize that, okay, you started off at a certain amount of drumming, and then eventually you decide that you want to add more spice to the cake. So you want to add more, and then you keep evolving, and you keep adding more, and you're bringing in more. And this is, by doing this, you're always trying to become better. So this is what we do to make our drumming better, and we bring our players in together, and we all come together as one unit to make it an energetic performance.
Yeah, great. So what kind of music is played on Tassa drums then, Kiran? What type of music? You know, we are all talking about music here.
Right. So just like the steel pan, we have different tracks or melodies that these guys would usually play. Any other type of instrument, they can follow along and play tones and notes and stuff. It's the same thing like Tassa. Tassa, we have beats we call hands, and each hand has a particular name, and it's played for a particular a specific time and place. For example, we have basic hands. Well, Tassa drumming in Trinidad and Tobago it's categorized into different areas. We have north style Tassa drumming, we have south style Tassa drumming, we have central side. But at the end of the day, everyone play the same hands. It's just that they play it in their own style. So in Tassa we have the basic hands, which is called Tikora, we have Chowbola, we have Nagara, we have Dingole, and we have a hand called Steel Pan that we play on Tassa, which is quite interesting. So
Yes,
these are the basic hands we usually play. And apart from these basic hands, when someone is started wants to learn to play Tassa, these are the first set of hands we introduce them to before you can go on further. So you have to learn the basics before you can move on. Um, uh, Also for different occasions we play Tassa differently. So for example, like weddings, we have hands we play for weddings, certain hand for certain rituals, for certain traditions in the wedding. We play certain hands. So we have hands called the wedding tikora, we have hands called wedding hand. We can play the north style version, we can play the south style version, but they are all specific and only certain places these hands are played for, and most of the time wedding hands are played on weddings. Then we also have like the classical hands on them. These are hands that were composed from beats taken from like dolak and all these different drums, and they were put together to create these hands. So we have hands like tumri, we have hands like bajan, we have hands like kemta, we have dadra. These hands were composed by singing. People would actually sing and make up these beats, and they will also play it on the dolak drums. And this is the same concept we took to like older Tassa drummers took, and they put it into the Tassa and they created these classical pieces. Also with that we have like festivals like the Huse celebration. We have certain hands are played on those nights where in commemoration of that event, where they play hands called the Nabi Sarbat, they have the Tin Chopra, they have Sadam Manhattan, and these kind of hands, they have a hand called the Derhana also. But these hands are significant for only Huse, and you will mostly hear these hands playing around that time. Apart from that hand, so you are seeing Tassa hands in different categories. So we also have creative hands. And last year, me and my group, we were able to compose our own hand, because we had to create a hand for a competition, for participating in a competition. So we composed a new hand that no one ever heard of before, and we by using our skills and by using music and by listening to sounds and different style of drums, we were able to put together a piece, and we created a hand called Trini to the Bone. So this hand came from a song that was sung by David Rudder. I think it's Trini to the Bone itself. So we renamed the hand and we call it Trini to the Bone, but it's really we registered it as Rhythm of the Islands. So when you hear the song and you listen to the track, it's basically syncing, and we were able to put together that piece. We haven't published it or anything yet, but it's something that we are still working on to make it better and better and better until we have it perfect, right? So apart from that, there are other drummers across Trinidad and Tobago who will have created Tassa hands as well, and we have hands called chutney, we have hands called bangra, we have hands called Punjabi, we have hands called the jungle beat, and these hands were created by other local Tassa drummers in Trinidad and Tobago. And these are hands that were never existing before, and because of experience and these sort of things, drummers are able to use their mind and use their experience to put together pieces and combine these hands together.
Great, Kiran. I love what you said about the creative, so you all did your own hand, and yeah, that's really that's great insights. So we have a question from Alwyn Holder, right? Alwyn is from Suriname. Very interesting insights from Kiran on the issue of the hands. How much of it embraces the traditional aspects of the art form?
Well, the traditional aspect, most of the hands that we play would have been passed down from traditions. It's just that the hands are modified from what was originally played to what it is now. But it's the same exact hands we play. It's just that we add modifications to it because sometimes you might want to you might want to adjust the rhythm, you might want to speed up the hand a bit, or to some aspect you wanna add pieces or take out pieces from it to suit your styling of drumming. So basically, the basic hands like the tikura and nagra and all these things would have came from traditions and passed down to us, and this is what we use, and we modified and we combine and we play up to today.
And then you created your own. You created, well, you modified one.
Yes, we create and we still have more hands that we are currently working on to create as well.
Great. Thank
So
you. Thank you. Thank you for the
everything is.
question, Alwyn. Kiran, you were saying every year?
I said we are still creating hands, and we are but it's something that it don't happen overnight. It is a working process, and you have to make time to practice these hands, because you can't just go to a performance and or go to a job and you're gonna play and just say, let me just take up my drum and play this, because none of the guys or the drummers are gonna know what you. So you have to practice, you have to make time, you have to rehearse before you go there and execute these hands on it.
Great. So, is there a specific attire that Tassa drummers wear?
Yes, well, we have different type of attire we wear for different occasion, different events. For example, we have the traditional Indian wear that we will use for like weddings, and mostly the traditional Indian wear. We use it for competitions to compete, just to keep it with the traditions. And then we will wear like kurta tops, we wear like the pagri, the headpiece, we wear like shawls, we have like the footwears and everything. These things help to add to complement the tassa. So you're just not standing and playing tassa, but you also have an appearance. You also add in flavor to your performance. And by doing this, it also attracts attention. So when you go out there to perform, and the way you dress, people respect you for that, and they look up to you. So like weddings and stuff, we will usually use things like shirt and pants. We will use like ties. We have like waistcoats. For certain, where like wedding receptions and stuff, we have like jacket suits. So different occasion, different event, we try to use appropriate uniforms to blend with the occasion, to fall in and fit in. So
Yeah.
in that way, we are uniform and we are matching. We are in a team code
Yeah,
to
that's
keep it,
that's
and in that way, we keep it professional.
hmm like what you said, you have different attire depending on the occasion that for Tassa. So some nice wear you're talking about. What
Yes.
about any events? What are some of the Tassa events, both local and regional, for Tassa players?
There are events that requires Tassa drumming. First of all, there are Tassa competitions around Trinidad. There are many competitions that happens on a yearly basis. We have like, for example, competitions like the National Tassarama, which is hosted by the Trinidad and Tobago Tassa Association. Uh, we have the Republic Bank Tassatal. Other we have competitions like in Point Fortin, Borode. We have other competitions across the country that helps Tassa drummers to perform and keep in line with the level of drumming that is required. By competing, it makes you perform better. It gives you confidence to do better and to become a prominent drummer. Apart from competitions, there are weddings, there are events. We perform basically for everything. You can perform for prayers, birthday parties, functions, surprise events, birthday, funerals, anything, basically anything in today's world has Tassa in it.
Mm-hmm.
So just recently, about a couple of weeks ago, we did Tassa for a music video, and we wanted to get the opportunity to do something like that because it was a soca video, and we incorporated Tassa into it. And by doing something like that, just to show how far Tassa has reached, and um, it's not just playing for a traditional or cultural event only, but also we do grand shows, we do grand openings, we do big stage performances, and we even travel abroad. We perform at Miami, in Miami already. We go to Tobago. There are groups in Trinidad who have performed all over the country, all over the world, and they take Tassa, they take the art form to different extent, and it is becoming recognized more and more.
Well, it brings me to the next question I wanted to ask you. What's the view of Tassa drummers? How people view Tassa drummers?
Right. Well, people view, we have mixed views from people about Tassa, but the feedback we get from people and the views from people are mostly positive views. On a Tassa basis, the view of a Tassa drama is to promote and preserve the culture and to keep the art form alive. And by doing this, we try to keep the traditions and try to stick to what we learn from past generations. And by doing this, when we do this, people will look up to us. They will realize that okay, there is still a culture alive, and it hasn't died. It isn't. It is still there, and um, people tend to view us as like not everyone see Tassa drummers as Tassa drummers because of the way certain like some Tassa drummers might carry about themselves and these kind of things. But we try to keep it as a culture thing. We try to keep it as from the time people know you are a Tassa guy or the hear good Tassa, the first thing that comes to their mind is tradition, culture, these kind of things. So that is the view we try to give the person out there. And also you don't want to create a image for people to think that Tassa is always something bad because we're trying to move up Tassa, not to remain young and stagnant.
So what are your concerns for current Tassa players and those who adopt the art form? Any challenges? What are your views? We want to hear what you think.
Uh, Based on my experience and over the years in Tassa drumming, there have been concerns with regards to the culture. Everyone, like not every Tassa drummer is the same. So there has been challenges where there may not be always be unity in the art form because of the fact that everyone is they learn from someone different. So Tassa is something you cannot learn overnight, and you always learn in Tassa. But every time when someone learn from different people, they always think that they are better than the other person, and this is a challenge we have been seeing over the years upon years upon years, and this is a concern to me because this is what's being passed down to the younger generation, and by they absorbing these things, they will grow up in the wrong manner. So my group personally, we try not to promote that. We try to encourage the younger ones and keep them on the right track to show them the right thing in Tassa. We try to promote unity and we try to keep a brotherhood in the industry.
And sisterhood too.
Yeah.
Kiran? What about women playing Tassa?
Sorry?
What about women playing Tassa? You
Yes,
see
yes,
more
yes.
males or you see
Woman,
more
woman.
females?
Yeah. We see there are 90 like 95% male, but there are female Tassa drummers as well, and upcoming female Tassa drummers who are also coming out into the open and starting to play Tassa drum. And this is something that is highly remarkable to see that females can also do the same thing as the male to perform with the Tassa drum and to also learn. So it's just not so we while it's a Tassa man term where we always call ourselves Tassa man,
Yeah.
but we no longer will have to consider we have to call it like a Tassa player in general because it will comprise both male and female eventually.
Yes.
And this is something we also try to encourage. We try to encourage we if we could encourage females to come on board, it is a plus for the industry.
Yes. Like what you said here too. And you talk about collaborative. So, what is some more meaningful? What would you like to see being more meaningful for Tassa? We want to hear what you say because you have over all these years of experience in it.
Well, over the I would like to see Tassa become more recognized regionally. I mean, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but worldwide. I would like to see it become recognized. I mean, we already have the national instrument of the steel pan, but it would be nice to see Tassa being recognized as a national instrument as well. But this has been going on for years, and it is still remain the same. And what I would like to see is that something more can be done about it. Because I mean, if you look around anywhere you go in Trinidad and Tobago, everything has Tassa in it. Every event, every occasion, somebody will call you for Tassa. And this is how it has been going on, but nobody is recognizing it to be what it is.
I
So
believe
this is something I would like to see. I would also like to see more. I would like to see more younger individuals, the youths, come on board to play Tassa. Um, because what happened is most of the older generation and the older drummers, they have passed on or they have stopped playing, and I would like to see that the ones who are there, I would like to see that they can pass on their knowledge to the younger ones, and
mhm,
so that they can help keep the tradition alive. Don't just keep everything to yourself and go with it, but try to encourage other younger the
mhm.
youths.
And then something, this whole conversation, what I'm learning so much from you, Kiran, when you're saying that, let's say I learn to play Tassa, you learn to play Tassa, and as we continue with iteration to iteration, building it, we may come about with
Mm.
something even better, right? It's more collaborative, more meaningful.
Correct.
And you said it, that's how you learn to play Tassa. You learn to play Tassa by experimenting too, and you
Yeah.
learn it years and years, and you're coming about with what might be the best type of drum to use, what type of
Correct.
technology to use. So,
Yeah, because Tassa is very easy to play. Not because I'm a professional drummer, but what all you need to do in Tassa is all you need to do is put your mind there and you need to play from your heart. And once you do that, everything just flows. But you can't just pick up a Tassa and start to play without having a passion for it because it will just be noise.
but exactly,
So
Kiran, and
you must have some kind of love.
yeah. So I know when you are teaching persons to play Tassa, that's the first thing. That is the best
Yeah.
line to start with. Play from your heart, right? Play from your heart, and you'll see all
Correct.
different things evolve with. That is the best line to start.
Yes.
Best line to start. Tell us about the business. What are some industries, anything that business jobs? Because we
Right.
looking at many people looking at different types of jobs, what different markets that you could get into. What about jobs coming out of Tassa?
Right. Tassa drumming on the whole can bring a lot of jobs on an entertainment basis, on an entertainment level, because at the end of the day, you are using your services and you are being compensated financially for it. So this is like you doing a job where so you can earn income when you provide a service, Tassa service when you go to like weddings or events and you perform the people like you they hire you you come and you perform you get an income, but apart from just performing on events there's also the business aspect of making the drums, selling the drums, so which this is something that I do personally. I make the drums, I do repairs, I make sticks, I make bass drums, so anything that you can think about with Tassa I can do it. And this is like a business where it is I am investing and I am creating with my hands and I can provide to the upcoming Tassa drummers. So while they will have drums, I will have business, and this is how it works. Also, business in Tassa also means you can also work through sponsorship, where it is a Tassa group can partner with a company or a corporate, and by doing this, the Tassa group will represent their name. The company will fund you financially for you to carry their name and to market them, and this goes a long way because it helps to take your name out there. It helps you to become recognizable because when Tassa groups go out to perform, it's not just one place or two places. We perform almost every weekend, and then when you go to these places, people will recognize you. They will see the good that the company is doing to promote culture, and they will recognize you for that. And when you go out there and you carry a sponsor name, this is bringing a plus to your business. So it helps the Tassa group financially to like in terms of purchasing uniforms, maintaining the drums, and all these things to assist to carry you all through the year. so that you could keep your group running up and running. And also it is going to help the business um, to get your name out there, to promote your business, to show that you support local culture. So this is how business in Tassa can work many different ways, and it can help out everyone.
Thanks, Kiran. So some great conversation, key takeaways for me. I mean, I have so many key takeaways from your conversation. I took some notes. If anybody else got any questions, please type in the chat, because, we're wrapping up the conversation. Because I think Kiran, you and I can sit down here and probably go on for hours and hours talking about Tassa, right? So any question that you have, feel free to type it in the chat. I know we took a question already. So, key takeaways for me, I learned about the history and what is of great interest, I would say, how technology could actually change the instrument itself, and, and play better notes, or not even better notes, but improvement in your notes and the sounds. Also, what I learned from you, every Tassa group may be different, right? So you are playing with a certain number of players in your group. You're the leader of the band, and you are really experimenting with what should, make up the best composition then,
Yes.
And of course, as you said, it will change. It changes. It may sound good today, but 2 years from now, you got a different idea. You spoke about the hands, the hands that you played. I love that part too, the hands that you play. You spoke about coming about with your new hand. And I like the traditional art form, as you said, and, it sounds really good, but you are always willing to learn and to experiment with new ideas, because that's what we have to do, right? New ideas. I saw Alwyn also type another a question. In terms of expanding the art form, what are your thoughts on collaborating across other forms or styles of music? Kiran,
Well, we have been collaborating. Yes, that is a really good question, and we have been doing that in the past. We have had the opportunity to collaborate with other drummers in terms of like the African drummers, the rhythm sections. So usually, like when we go to events, people will hire Tassa, they will hire rhythm section, they will hire African drummers, and we will collaborate even with like musicians, like a live singing band. They will also ask the Tassa to accompany their singing, to give them like background music and stuff. And by doing this, it brings two cultures together. For example, the rhythm section and the African drumming. It is a really nice experience, because it's two different cultures coming together, where it is the East Indians and the Africans are coming together, and it creates a unity, it creates a bond, it creates a brotherhood. And this is what we need in this world. More things like this. So that is a really good question, and we have been collaborating with other instruments as well.
Great. And Hazel asked the same question as you were answering it. How could you collaborate with different persons in the art form so that, new ideas could develop? So I like what you said. Yeah, I love what you said. And I get in some ideas and how we could collaborate with different things too. Great. So Kiran, closing remarks from you. A conversation that I know we're going to have much more of, where we will actually come and showcase some of your music, right, on the Tassa actual page.
Yes, for sure.
Some upcoming events. But you tell us some closing remarks.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Caribbean Connect for having me on board to do this live interview. It is really a great pleasure to be here on board, and I look forward to working with you all more. And let's hope that we can do some sessions where the viewers can be able to actually see and hear what we do, and how we try to take Tassa to another level. Also, I want to say a special thank you to, as I mentioned, Business in Tassa is about sponsorship. I want to highlight a very special person who has been very genuinely a good to us, Mr. Roy Ramcharan, Transport Service of South Ropuch. He has remarkably been sponsoring us and supporting us throughout the years for over 5 years, and his support has been able to get us where we need to get. And without him, we would not have been able to reach that extent. So as I said, sponsorship is good. It helps the Tassa group. It helps us to move, to climb more steps at a time. Instead of one step at a time, we are now climbing like 5 steps when our sponsors on board. So Mr. Roy Ramcharan is a really great guy, and we thank him so much, and we always look forward to his support. So
Great.
it was a nice interview, and I thank you, Shivani, for taking the time to have me here, and all the listeners, thank you all for listening and to what I had to bring to the table.
Kiran, you brought such great conversation. I learn a lot, Every conversation that I have with someone, I must learn something from them. And I took about 3 pages of notes. 3 pages of notes. So yes, I'm very happy that you also mentioned your sponsor, right? Roy Ramcharan, who sponsors your team to lead the team.
Mhm.
So thank you for mentioning that also. I also have from Angie Jairam, excellent contributions. I've learned so much from this session. I like the one of the different hands. Yes, Angie, myself too. It means that the drums are beginning to evolve. This means instruments can also be a national instrument eventually. Well done. So I will also like to say thanks to everyone. Thank you, Kiran, for taking the time. Yes, you said you take the time for the past hour. And as I said, if we don't close off now, we definitely will continue and continue and continue. But we evolving. It's a conversation to evolve, right, Kiran? And
Definitely.
Caribbean Connect looks forward. So something you said that I want to also mention, you said about becoming that persons need to view the Tassa drumming differently, right? Collaborative. And I've been thinking about it. What really can how we could grow the industry. You mentioned it in terms of taking it regional. And the only way to take things regional and international really is through education, right? Is through education where we
Correct.
need to educate people. And this is where your role on Caribbean Connect is evolving. So, for the audience and for everyone here, Kiran, South Trini Boys, we are launching our online training through our self-paced learning platform on Tassa. So it's going to be a Tassa series, And of course, we're going to have different technology. We are experimenting with the artificial intelligence, AI, and how we're going to do Tassa apps, all these different things. So Kiran, is
And
exciting
Shivani,
time.
just to add, yeah, just to add to it, when these sessions actually take place, everything that I spoke about tonight will actually you will actually get the everyone will actually get to understand and conceptualize everything about Assam even more. It will be much more easier than talking about it because you're actually getting to see how it is happening and you are seeing what is taking place. So it will become more easy. It will become more interesting. It will become more exciting when we actually go on to these sessions. So it is something I'm looking forward to, and let's do it.
Great, Kiran. Let's do it. So Caribbean Connect again, we look forward to having this education, self-paced learning, as we call it, self-paced learning on the business of Tassa and learning to play Tassa. So exciting. And this is how we are coming in. We are showing that technology and how technology could really take something like Tassa that, you played in your communities. We want to take it in a regional and international, not only regional. So thank you very much, Kiran, and all the best. And signing off, I'm seeing some persons coming back again on the chat. Thank you, Kiran. All the best. And
Okay.
until we see again.
Okay. Thank you, Shivani.
Thank you, everyone, also for joining in the team.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.